Dr. Nagaraj, Senior Physician and Diabetologist. It's a great pleasure to be with you all of the diabetic patients. Today we are conducting an exclusive camp on diabetes detection and awareness program. In this camp we have made necessary arrangements for detection of GRBS, HbA1c and also education by a dietitian and neuropathy detection test. Our main aim is to detect lifestyle disease, prevent and manage diabetes, hypertension, dyslipidemia, obesity and heart disease. In the present generation, we are seeing a lot of people getting diabetes at the age of 22 to 25 years itself. Past 30 years back, India used to have diabetes at the age of 60 years. Now the age of diabetes is coming down far aggressively down. To prevent diabetes, hypertension, dyslipidemia, obesity and heart diseases, we need to make some concrete effort to detect, prevent and manage diabetes and complications. So Infilife has a unique proposition and thinking of bringing down diabetes, hypertension, obesity and heart disease in the society. So every 15-20 days we start to do this sort of programs which will really be helpful in preventing diabetes, hypertension, dyslipidemia, obesity and heart diseases. We are into a lot of visionary things where we are trying to look into health concepts by bringing down the disease burden in the society. So we are planning school health programs, rural health programs, corporate programs and senior citizens wellness which we are going to coming in the next coming days. So we are going to launch all these programs in the coming days. Hope so the burden of lifestyle disease comes down in the coming days, and Infilife makes a sincere scientific effort to bring down the lifestyle disease in this society. I always request all of you to cooperate in this endeavor. I hope so our patients get some very good teaching and knowledge regarding lifestyle disease. Thank you one and all.
So myself, Dr. Vishwanath, I'm a consultant physician and diabetologist. So the purpose of organizing this camp is to create an awareness among the people about the diabetes and at least to guide the principles of treatment. We may not do each and everything at a clinic, at least to create an awareness and why they should be treated and basic helps in terms of a free sugar testing, free nerve testing and other things. I got to know what are the real people requirements and in which area people neglect it. People neglect their own sugars thinking that everything is okay. People that neglect their own weight, they don't bother whether they are 90 kgs, 80 kgs and all. So my vision is to make people fit in terms of reducing their weight and controlling the diabetes. At least I want people to look 7 to 8 years younger than their age. Okay, the people should all over the world should fit and healthy so that they can live longer in a healthy way. Whether it is a diabetes or overweight, first target your ideal weight. If you don't maintain your ideal weight, neither diabetes nor obesity related complication come down. Always remember, absence of disease doesn't mean you are healthy. Somebody of 90 kg may not have a disease, but he is not healthy. Unless you maintain a proper weight, then it cannot be called as a healthy and fit. And today, in today's world, the number of people of dying because of obesity and diabetes is 2 times more than the number of people dying of violence and suicides. So in the last 10,000 years of human history, for the first time, more people are dying of overeating than undereating. Earlier, people were eating without food, without no foods. But people are now eating because of overeating. So we have to make it a campaign, make the people aware, have a caution while eating, do fastings, you know what to eat natural foods, control your weight and control your diabetes. After all the technology, we have seen robotic technology, we have seen enormous things in the technology, but the only technology that helps for ideal health is the technology of nature, nothing else. I suggest them to reverse your diabetes. I suggest them to reduce your weight by natural ways which our forefathers were doing, not by medications and other things. Let's go in a natural way. Let's go back to the basics. What our grandfathers were doing, why they were so healthy and fit. 50 years before, a person of 45 years is equal to today's 30 years. It's very unfortunate. People are getting diabetes at 30 years of age. This I don't want to happen. We want to regain the same fitness, same energy, same diabetic free status as our ancestors. People with diabetes, we are not treating a disease actually. Most people, especially type 2 diabetes, is coming because of insulin resistance. Type 1 diabetes comes because of insulin deficiency. Type 2 diabetes comes of insulin resistance. Why? Because you see, we keep on eating 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. Whenever we eat, insulin increases in the body. And whenever insulin goes, insulin, you keep eating, insulin comes. Keep eating, insulin comes. Eating, insulin comes. What happens? Insulin get a resistance. Just like an antibiotic resistance, insulin also get a resistance. This insulin resistance is the primary cause for a diabetes and obesity. But what we are doing, what doctors are doing, whenever the sugar comes, we are treating a blood sugar. Your sugar is 300. We are giving medication and insulin to reduce the sugars. We are not treating the primary cause. Suppose, for example, when an infection comes, we'll identify whether it's a bacterial infection or a viral infection. Depending on that, we'll treat the infection. But here what we are doing, ideally in a diabetes, we have to treat an insulin resistance. But we are not doing that. We are only controlling the blood sugar. That means we are treating a symptom, not a disease. So unless we make changes, lifestyle changes like a fastings, low carbohydrate diet, exercise to reduce the insulin resistance, we cannot cure diabetes. Yes, diabetes is not a chronic progressive disease. If you reduce insulin resistance, diabetes can be reversible. Mark my word, diabetes can be reversible. And to effectively treat both diabetes and obesity, there is one magic mantra, which one ancient health technique is called fasting. So people get scared about fasting. Oh my God, how can I live without food for 12 or 13 hours? Yes, fasting is having a history of 2000 years. Every religion in the world have followed fasting. Whether you take Hindu, the Ramzan, people are doing fasting for a month, morning to evening without even water. Fasting is propagated by religions because it has health benefits. By doing fastings, the most recommended therapeutic fasting is intermittent fasting. In this intermittent fasting, so for example, in a 24-hour cycle, we have to be off food, without food for 16 hours, with food for 8 hours. When we are without food, insulin secretion stops from the pancreas. So whenever there is no insulin secretion, there is a reduction in insulin resistance. When the insulin resistance decreases, obviously that is the treatment for diabetes and obesity. As simple as this. The fasting, intermittent fasting under supervision is the most effective treatment for overweight and diabetes, which is killing million people in the world. Lactating females better avoid fasting. Otherwise, rest all age group can do fasting. It is because this is not something I am telling you new. It's already there from our 2000 years of history. Only thing is, especially with the diabetic people who already blood sugars are high on medications, they should do under a medical supervision. Rest all can easily do fasting without even medical supervisions. There is no definite period for fasting. Intermittent fasting you can do weekly, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, even 6 days. It can be continued for indifferent period of time. Only diabetics, they should have under medical supervision by checking their sugars. They should continue fasting. So the sugar should not fluctuate too much.
Dr. V.G. Poojar, ಗುಲ್ಬರ್ಗಾ ವಿಶ್ವವಿದ್ಯಾಲಯದ ಪ್ರಾಧ್ಯಾಪಕ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಶುಗರ್ ಕ್ಯಾಂಪ್ ಫ್ರೀ ಚೆಕಪ್ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥ ಮಾಹಿತಿ ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯಿತು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಇನ್ಫಿಲೈಫ್ ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟಲ್ದಲ್ಲಿ ಇವತ್ತು ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ 10 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ನಾನು ಮತ್ತು ನನ್ನ ಶ್ರೀಮತಿ ಮಾಲಾ ಪೂಜಾರ್ ಇಬ್ಬರು ಸೇರಿ ಬಂದೆವು. ಇಲ್ಲಿನ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆ ಬಹಳ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ. ಶುಗರ್ ಚೆಕಪ್ ಆಯಿತು, ರ್ಯಾಂಡಮ್ ಶುಗರ್ ಚೆಕಪ್ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಿದರು. ಅದಾದ ನಂತರ ಲಿಪಿಡ್ ಪ್ರೊಫೈಲ್ ಕೂಡ ಚೆಕಪ್ ಆಯಿತು. ಈ ಎರಡೂ ರಿಪೋರ್ಟ್ಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವು ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ವಿಶ್ವನಾಥ್ ಬಿ ಎಲ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ತೋರಿಸಿದಾಗ ಅವರು ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ನೋಡಿ ನಮಗೆ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯಾದಂಥ ಅವಶ್ಯಕವಾದಂಥ ಮೆಡಿಸಿನ್ಸನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಿಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್ ಮಾಡಿದರು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಂಥ ಎಲ್ಲ ಜನ ಮತ್ತು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಹಳ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥಿತವಾದಂಥ ರೀತಿಯೊಳಗೆ ಅಚ್ಚುಕಟ್ಟಾಗಿ ನಡೀತಾ ಇರುವುದನ್ನು ನನಗೆ ನೋಡಿ ಬಹಳ ಸಂಪ್ರೀತನಾಗಿದ್ದೇನೆ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ವಿಷಯವನ್ನು ತಮಗೆ ತಿಳಿಸ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನನಗೆ ಬಹಳ ಸಂತೋಷ ಅನ್ನಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಮತ್ತು ಈ ಶುಗರ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಹೇಗೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಬಿ ಪಿ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಹೇಗೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ವ್ಯಾಯಾಮ ಅಥವಾ ದಿನನಿತ್ಯದ ಒಂದು ವಾಕಿಂಗ್, ಈ ಎಲ್ಲ ವಿಷಯಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆಯೂ ಕೂಡ ಇಂಥ ಒಂದು ಫ್ರೀ ಚೆಕಪ್ ಏನೊಂದು ಚಟುವಟಿಕೆಗಳು ನಡೀತಾ ಇವೆ, ಇದರಿಂದ ಸಮಾಜದ ಮೇಲೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಒಂದು ಸತ್ಪರಿಣಾಮ ಬೀರ್ತದ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥ ಅಭಿಪ್ರಾಯವನ್ನು ನಾನು ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತೇನೆ.
Today we are concentrating on diabetes and obesity. So I'll just in brief tell you what is the diet plan. There is no big rocket science in that. We just have a simple look. So we follow the my plate method. And in this method, as you can see, that there is half the plate is green, so that indicates all the vegetable and fruit intake. But specifically for diabetic and obese people, fruits are restricted to certain fruits, and sometimes with high diabetes to a level that we should limit the fruit intake also. We suggest 100 grams of fruit for a diabetic person in a day, and fruits such as orange, pear, apple, now this jamun has come out, guava. These are good options. Any fruit at a given time is 100 grams. The rest of the plate is green vegetables, non-starchy vegetables like your spinach, amaranth, methi, lady's finger. Only certain vegetables like beetroot, carrot, potatoes, they have slightly higher sugar content, which can be eaten in moderation. Then we have the quarter of the plate, which gives us all the carbohydrate content. So that is like your chapati, ragi mudde, and your rice content, your pasta, your starchy vegetables. So these vegetables should be as big as your palm, not more than that. And then the other quarter bit is all your protein sources. So for a vegetarian it is like curd, milk, paneer, nuts and all those things. And for a non-vegetarian it's chicken, fish, eggs. So that should be as big as your palm and not more than that. And you can see there's a small circle in the center which is the fat. So that fat is the visible fat what we should be eating in a day, because you also get fat from the other sources also. So that's about the my plate concept. So now let me explain on a typical diabetic person. So we follow the rule no feasting and no fasting. So a diabetic person should not be feasting or fasting at a given point of time, but there are studies showing that fasting does help them, but under medical supervision. So here I'll show you a typical plate, how it should contain of a diabetic person. Make sure your carbohydrate content, if for example you're having 2 chapatis, the chapati size should be around 15 centimeters across, and it is 15 grams of carb each chapati. So that we are taking 2 chapatis, a big bowl of vegetables. Vegetable quantity is not restricted, up till 200 mg you can grams of vegetables can be had. So that is your 2 chapatis, vegetable, a medium bowl of dal and some salad, a small bowl of curd. So when you have this kind of a balanced diet, you do not raise, because at a given point of time glucose level raises due to the carbohydrate, so you don't increase this. If on a given day you want to eat chapati and rice, you have to remove 1 chapati and include a little bit of small bowl of rice. So this is how you can balance the carbohydrate content. Even for obese people the same diet goes. At a given time carbohydrate should not be eaten, because then the insulin is stressed, there's more insulin required to lower the glucose levels. So this is about the food concept. So some tips which I could give for obese person in terms of physical activity is, physical activity is a must for every human being. Even in the past we all have been farmers, so we had been doing physical activity. So these days, from getting up in the morning to go into the toilet, then car and then go to work, work, we are all sitting all the time. So we have to be as active as possible. So physical activity of 30 minutes in a day is very good. And I follow the method that it should be done intermittently. Like you are going for half an hour walk, do a 15 minutes fast walk where you are actually sweating, your heart rate goes high, and you should feel that you have done a physical activity. Not going to a shop, strolling down the garden, playing with children. These are all good to keep you active, but doesn't come under a proper activity where you're reducing your glucose level and trying to lose weight. And after doing a good activity, if the entire day you're sitting, that is again not a good idea. So your physical activity, it negates the effects of it if you're sitting the whole day. So the entire day you have to be moving around, do as much as physical activity. So that's about your thing. And I think with these tips, basic tips you can do and do well in your, like, you know, maintain your health and do well. So keep moving and don't be afraid of foods. Foods are our friend, so we need to have it, but in the right quantities and the right type of food. Thank you.
ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ಮನೆಯವರು ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ 10 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ಬಂದೀವಿ. ನಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಶುಗರ್ದು ಇದು ಡಾಕ್ಟ್ರು ಭಾಳ ಮಾಹಿತಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಮತ್ತು ನಾಳೆ ಸಂಡೇ ದಿವಸ ಕ್ಯಾಂಪ್ ಅದ ಬರ್ರಿ ಅಮ್ಮ ಅಂತಂದರು. ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ 10 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ಬಂದು ನಾ ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಆಗೀನಿ ರೀ. ಎಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ದು ಇಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಬಂದದ ಈಗ.
Hi, I am Lipika and I am working in Capgemini in Bangalore. We stayed here around 5 years in Bangalore, and actually in my home we are staying with our in-laws, and today I came with my mom and actually I know the Nagraj, Dr. Nagraj. He is a general doctor, and we meet him in near to our place. And there actually we get to know he is a good doctor about like diabetic and BP, all these things. So there we went with my husband. After that we get to know that Infilife, he is actually the doctor in Infilife. So after that we take our in-laws and we came here. We did some general checkups also, like some offer was there on January time. Then today it is a free camp. We didn't know, but today unfortunately I come with my mom, and today it is free only. It is good for all, and it is a very nice clinic, and we are enjoying a lot because he is a very nice doctor. He spoke like nicely, and what I can speak, like he is a very nice doctor, and this place is, all the staff members are very cooperative.
I am Shankar Prasad Koala, residing in Elita apartment. I was knowing the doctor previously, but I came to visit the dispensary for the first time, and I am more than satisfied with the treatment and behavior of the staff in this dispensary. Everyone can come and consult here for any kind of physical problems.